What if I told you that your true vibrational power, the frequency that magnetizes abundance, healing, purpose, clarity, and divine alignment is already inside of you, always has been, but is being blocked by specific, deeply ingrained mistakes most people don't even know they're making? This isn't about adding more rituals or chanting louder or meditating longer. This is about removing what's distorting your signal. Imagine your soul like a tuning fork, naturally resonant, pure, magnetic. But if you've got dust, noise, and interference all around it, your true sound can't ring out. These 7 fatal mistakes are the static. And the moment we begin to correct them, everything changes, not just spiritually, but emotionally, physically, and energetically. This is not just a journey of self-improvement. This is a journey of frequency liberation. The first fatal mistake we make is neglecting our energetic hygiene. You shower your body every day, but when was the last time you cleared your energy field? We absorb so much other people's emotions, unconscious beliefs, social programming, even residual trauma from environments we've walked through. And yet, we walk around wondering why we're tired, confused, anxious, or out of sync. It's like trying to run with 1,000 invisible cords attached to your back. You can't rise when you're carrying what isn't yours. If your aura is cluttered, your intuition dims. Your manifestations stall. Your sense of self becomes foggy. The fix: daily energetic cleansing. It could be breathwork, salt baths, sound frequencies, or even intentional silence. But the key is consistency. You can't expect to vibrate at a high frequency if you're constantly soaking in low ones. Ask yourself, what have I been carrying that doesn't even belong to me? The second fatal mistake is misidentifying the source of your power. Most people think their power comes from how much they do, how much they know, or how much they control. But true vibrational power doesn't come from force. It comes from resonance. It comes from alignment. It's not about doing more, it's about being more you. Every time you betray your truth to fit in, to please, to avoid conflict, you weaken your frequency. You send out a signal that says, I don't trust myself, and the universe responds accordingly. Real power begins when you stop outsourcing your worth, when you stop chasing and start attracting, when you stop proving and start being. You don't raise your frequency by becoming someone else. You raise it by remembering who you were before the world told you to forget. The third mistake, and this one's huge, is emotional suppression. We live in a world that teaches us to numb, to scroll instead of feel, to distract instead of process. But emotions are energy in motion. And when you suppress them, you don't eliminate them, you embed them. They become blocks in your system. Fear, unexpressed grief, shame, rage, these are not enemies. They are messengers. And the moment you stop running from them, they start to transmute. You can't raise your vibration while bypassing your pain. You have to feel it to free it. Crying is not weakness, it's sacred alchemy. Anger, when honored, becomes boundaries. Sadness becomes clarity. The more deeply you feel, the more purely you vibrate. So ask yourself, what emotion have I been avoiding that's actually the key to my liberation? The fourth fatal mistake is misalignment between inner truth and outer action. You can speak affirmations all day, wear crystals, burn sage, and still be out of alignment if your actions contradict your soul's truth. The universe doesn't respond to your words, it responds to your frequency. And your frequency is shaped by your choices. If you feel called to rest but keep grinding to meet others' expectations, your vibration reflects self-betrayal. If you say you want love but keep engaging in relationships that drain you, your vibration reflects fear, not worth. Alignment isn't about being perfect, it's about being honest. It's about making small, courageous choices that say, I trust the truth inside me more than the noise outside me. Realignment doesn't always require massive change. Sometimes it just means one brave no. On a sacred yes. One moment when you choose resonance over reputation. The fifth mistake is disconnection from the body. We treat the body like a vehicle we can ignore until it breaks down. But the body is not just a machine, it's an antenna. It picks up frequencies, stores memories, and communicates through sensation. If you're dissociated, chronically tense, or constantly overriding your body's signals, your vibration drops. Period. You cannot access your highest energy while disconnected from your physical vessel. Your body is the bridge between heaven and earth, between spirit and matter, between idea and manifestation. Grounding, movement, breath, nourishment, these are not luxuries. They are spiritual technologies. The more you honor your body, the more your frequency stabilizes. Not in theory, but in reality. So pause and ask, what is my body trying to tell me that I've been too busy or afraid to hear? The sixth fatal mistake is living in a reactive state instead of a responsive one. Reactivity is a frequency of fear. It's impulsive, chaotic, scattered. And most people live their entire lives in this state, reacting to emails, news, comments, other people's moods. But when you're reactive, you're not in command of your vibration, you're at the mercy of everything around you. If your peace depends on external conditions, your power will always be unstable. Responsiveness, on the other hand, comes from presence, from awareness, from a calm, grounded nervous system. It's not about never feeling triggered, it's about not letting the trigger drive the car. The more responsive you become, the more magnetic you become. Because calm is powerful. Clarity is powerful. Stillness is not passive, it's potent. So I ask you, where in your life are you reacting from wounds instead of responding from wisdom? And finally, the seventh fatal mistake is forgetting your divine nature. This is the deepest one, the root of all misalignment. We live like we are disconnected, separate, small. We forget that we are literal extensions of source energy, that we are not just receivers of light, we are emitters of it. And when you forget this, you shrink, you settle, you seek validation instead of radiating truth. But when you remember, truly remember that you are a fractal of the infinite, everything changes. You stop chasing, you stop begging, you start magnetizing. Your vibration becomes a beacon, not a question mark. And the world begins to respond not to your fear, but to your frequency of knowing. So I ask you this, which of these 7 fatal mistakes is currently distorting your signal, and what would your life look like if you finally cleared it?
Click subscribe to this channel to get more profound spiritual lesson.
Most people think that raising their vibration requires total life overhaul, quitting their job, moving to a mountain, meditating 10 hours a day, or mastering some ancient mystical practice. But that idea is both overwhelming and misleading. The truth is, your vibration doesn't shift through dramatic outer changes, it shifts through subtle yet powerful inner adjustments. We're not looking for spectacle, we're looking for realignment. And realignment begins with awareness. Not forced, not fabricated, but awakened. Pure awareness is the first catalyst of vibrational transformation, because the moment you see clearly what you've been unconsciously doing, your energy starts to move differently. You don't have to fix everything. You just have to see it for what it is. Let's go deeper. Think about how often we live in autopilot, waking up, checking our phones, reacting to messages, mentally rehearsing problems, judging ourselves before we even brush our teeth. This is the default setting of the unconscious mind. But every unconscious thought carries a frequency. Every judgment, every doubt, every comparison, we're transmitting those vibrations into the field constantly. And then we wonder why we feel stuck, misunderstood, or misaligned. But what happens when we shift our awareness even slightly? What happens when you wake up and witness your thoughts instead of becoming them? That moment of observation creates space. That space is presence, and presence is high frequency. You don't have to silence your mind to raise your vibration, you just have to stop letting it drive the ship. Another micro shift that creates massive change is reframing your relationship with resistance. Most people treat resistance like an enemy. They feel fear, doubt, procrastination, and instantly label it as a bad sign. But what if resistance isn't the problem, it's the portal? Every time you feel resistance, it's pointing to a place where your energy is trying to expand beyond your current identity. That resistance isn't blocking you, it's inviting you. Inviting you to upgrade your self-concept, to let go of an outdated belief, to move through the fire instead of around it. Avoiding resistance keeps you vibrating at the frequency of your past. Facing resistance with curiosity, not force, elevates you into the frequency of your future. Ask yourself, what would change if I stopped avoiding discomfort and started listening to it? Let's talk about another small shift that creates exponential energetic return: intention before action. Most people act without aligning. They rush into their day, their relationships, their work, without checking in with their inner compass. But energy follows intention. Every action you take, whether it's answering a call, writing a message, entering a room, carries the frequency of the intention behind it. If you move from scarcity, your actions carry contraction. If you move from love, your actions radiate expansion. Before you do anything, pause and ask, from what state am I doing this? That single question recalibrates your field. It's not the action that creates the vibration, it's the consciousness behind it. When your intention is clear, your frequency becomes coherent, and coherence is magnetic. One of the most overlooked frequency hacks is the energy of appreciation, not just surface-level gratitude lists, but embodied appreciation. When you feel appreciation in your body, you instantly shift into a high-frequency state. Not because it's spiritual fluff, but because appreciation is vibrational alignment with the now. And the now is where your power lies. You can't manifest in the past or the future. You manifest from the frequency you're holding now. So when you can find beauty even in small things, the warmth of your tea, the quiet of your morning, the breath in your lungs, you anchor into a frequency that the universe responds to. Appreciation isn't about denying pain. It's about choosing resonance over resistance. It's the difference between reacting to life and dancing with it. Also, let's not underestimate the power of internal language. The words you speak to yourself shape your vibration more than any affirmation on your wall. If your inner dialogue is full of "I can't," "I'm not ready," "I'm stuck," those phrases become energetic commands. Your field listens. But when you shift your language even slightly, you shift your frequency. "I'm stuck" becomes "I'm in transition." "I'm afraid" becomes "I'm feeling the edge of growth." These aren't lies. They're higher truths. Language creates perspective. Perspective creates emotion. Emotion creates vibration. And vibration shapes your reality. So ask yourself, what story am I telling with my words? And is it expanding or contracting my field? One of the most powerful shifts of all is choosing presence over performance. In a world obsessed with proving, comparing, and achieving, our vibration often collapses under the weight of not enough. But you don't raise your frequency by becoming someone else's idea of success. You raise your frequency by dropping into the now and being unapologetically you. Presence is the absence of resistance. When you are fully here without needing to be anywhere else, you become a tuning fork for the divine. You are no longer chasing alignment, you are alignment. And in that state, the right people, opportunities, insights, and energies flow to you with ease. Not because you forced it, but because you became the version of you that attracts it naturally. So you see, it's not about doing more. It's about becoming aware of how you're being. These small shifts, observation over judgment, curiosity over resistance, intention over impulse, appreciation over lack, empowered language over limitation, and presence over performance, are not just tips. They are frequency upgrades. Each one recalibrates your field. Each one clears static. Each one brings you closer to your natural state of power, clarity, flow, and divine resonance. And when you live from that state consistently, the universe doesn't just respond, it orchestrates. So I ask you, what one subtle shift can you begin practicing today that would ripple through your entire vibrational field if you stayed consistent with it for the next 7 days? Have you ever wondered why, no matter how hard you visualize, journal, or try to think positive, you keep attracting the same patterns, the same kind of relationships, the same financial setbacks, the same emotional loops? The truth is painful but freeing. You don't attract what you want, you attract what you believe you deserve. Your conscious desires are like the tip of an iceberg. What actually shapes your magnetic field is the vast hidden realm beneath your awareness, your self-worth, your identity, your emotional imprints, your unspoken agreements with reality. If you carry a frequency of unworthiness, no amount of vision boards can override that signal. The universe doesn't respond to your words, it responds to your frequency. And your frequency is the echo of your self-perception. So if you truly want to unlock your vibrational power, you have to go inward, to that terrifying and sacred place where your deepest beliefs about yourself reside. Let's get brutally honest here. Most of us were taught, directly or indirectly, that love must be earned, that success must be struggled for, that rest must be justified, and that our worth is conditional. These are not just ideas in our heads. They are energetic imprints in our nervous system, shaped by years of subtle programming. And if you carry those frequencies, they become your point of attraction. You may say, I want abundance, but if your inner narrative says, I'm not enough, your field will repel the very abundance you're trying to manifest. This is why self-sabotage is so common. It's not a sign of laziness, but of inner conflict. You're trying to receive something you secretly believe you're not allowed to have. And that misalignment creates energetic resistance. So the question becomes, what are you unconsciously telling the universe you deserve? Rewriting this energetic script is not about hype or pretending to feel high vibe all the time. It's about meeting yourself in truth. Healing at the frequency level means excavating the wounds that created the belief in your unworthiness in the first place. It means going back to the first time you felt invisible, rejected, unloved, or unsafe, and offering your younger self the compassion and presence you never received. Because that inner child is still broadcasting, still shaping your energetic field. Until you bring those parts of you into integration, they will continue to distort your signal. And listen, this isn't about blame. It's about reclamation. You're not broken. You're misaligned. Your magnetic field isn't weak, it's confused. It's time to clarify it. And here's the paradox. The more you allow yourself to feel worthy without needing to earn it, the more effortlessly life starts to flow. Not because the external world changes overnight, but because your inner world becomes a match for what you once thought was impossible. Worthiness is not arrogance. It's not entitlement. It's alignment. It's remembering that you are a vessel of divine intelligence, and that your desires are not random, they are sacred instructions from your soul. But they can only be fulfilled when your field is congruent with them. That congruence comes when your thoughts, emotions, and actions are in harmony with the belief, I am inherently enough. Let's talk about relationships for a moment. If you believe love must come with sacrifice, drama, or proving, you'll find yourself stuck in cycles of emotional labor. You'll attract partners who reflect your hidden belief that love is something you must earn. But when you shift your frequency to one of self-honoring, you no longer tolerate disrespect. You no longer chase. You become a mirror for the kind of love that is rooted in presence, not performance. The same applies to abundance. If you believe money is hard to get, tied to stress, or morally wrong, your field will repel prosperity, no matter how many affirmations you speak. But when you begin to see abundance as a natural extension of your purpose, your frequency shifts from scarcity to stewardship, from fear to flow, and the universe responds accordingly. This is why the work isn't just mindset, it's energetic embodiment. It's not just what you think, but how you feel in your body when you think it. You can say, I am worthy, but if your shoulders are tense, your breath is shallow, and your stomach is clenched, your body is telling a different story. Your magnetic field listens to your body more than your words. So the real practice is syncing your body, mind, and energy into coherence. That's when you become truly magnetic. Not because you're trying to attract, but because you are the vibration of what you desire. So I ask you with full presence, what would shift in your life if you stopped trying to prove your worth and started trusting that your existence alone is enough to deserve everything you dream of? This is not a motivational slogan. This is a vibrational recalibration. When you stop outsourcing your value and begin to embody your enoughness, your field transforms from a seeker to a beacon. You stop chasing alignment and start transmitting it. The world doesn't give you what you beg for. It gives you what your vibration declares non-verbally, consistently, and unapologetically. And the most beautiful part, you don't need to wait for external validation. You can begin transmitting that new frequency right now, through one breathable moment of self-acceptance, through one courageous act of saying no to what no longer matches your worth, through one brave yes to something your soul has been whispering for years. That's how frequency changes, one aligned moment at a time. The greatest misunderstanding about vibrational alignment is the belief that it's a state you visit occasionally during a meditation after a breakthrough or when life is finally going your way. But the truth is, your highest frequency isn't a destination. It's your default. It's not something you have to chase or manufacture. It's something you remember. The real work, the real unlock, is not just reaching that state but staying there, living in it, embodying it so fully that it becomes as natural to you as breathing. So the biggest question becomes, how do we live in a state of permanent vibration without slipping back into the old loops? The answer lies not in effort, but in devotion, a daily, moment-to-moment commitment to self-awareness, energetic integrity, and inner congruence. Let's be honest, old patterns don't just fall away because you had one epiphany. They return in disguise. They whisper through familiar voices, reactivate through stress, and sneak in through your weakest moments. That's why staying in high vibration isn't about bypassing challenges, it's about meeting them with a new frequency. You're not trying to avoid the storm. You're learning to hold your vibration within it. This means when discomfort arises, your first instinct isn't to react, it's to observe. When fear shows up, you don't attack it, you sit with it long enough to hear what it came to teach. When life throws chaos at your feet, you don't collapse, you anchor yourself deeper, like a tree in the wind. That's how you stop slipping back. You stop resisting the tests and start using them as tools to root your vibration even deeper. One of the most powerful practices for permanent vibrational living is ritualized presence. Not routines that become robotic, but sacred pauses that recalibrate your field. A few minutes of breath work before you pick up your phone. Silence and stillness before you speak. A conscious check-in before you say yes to anything. These aren't spiritual extras, they are the maintenance system for your frequency. Just like your body needs sleep and nourishment, your vibration needs stillness and recalibration. If you neglect these small moments, your inner field becomes chaotic and you start leaking energy. But when you honor them, you create an energetic container, a stable field. And that container becomes the space where your higher self can live consistently. But let's go even deeper. To live in permanent vibration, you must stop identifying with your past frequency. Stop seeing yourself as someone who's trying to become high vibe. You are high vibe. You always were. The real shift is in identity. When you decide that you are no longer available for low-frequency living, not in your thoughts, not in your relationships, not in your choices, everything begins to reorganize around that decision. The universe responds not to your hopes, but to your boundaries. When you declare, "This is my standard now," life will challenge you not to test you, but to train you to hold that vibration under pressure. This is how frequency becomes permanent, not because life gets easier, but because you get clearer. And yes, you will be tested. You'll be tempted to shrink, to doubt, to compromise. But these are not failures. They are invitations. Invitations to step into a deeper level of embodiment. To ask yourself in real time, who am I choosing to be right now? That question is the gatekeeper to vibrational mastery. Because the more often you choose from your highest identity, the more natural it becomes. Eventually, you don't have to try to stay high vibe. You are the vibration. It's in your breath, your walk, your presence. People feel it when you enter a room. You don't even have to speak. Your energy speaks before you do. That's the power of frequency that's no longer a practice but a presence. And perhaps the most important key of all, serve from your overflow. When you live in your true vibration, you become magnetic not just for your own benefit, but for the benefit of others. Your presence becomes medicine. Your alignment becomes a mirror. Your joy becomes a lighthouse for those still lost in the fog. But you can only give from your overflow, not from depletion. So protect your field, not with walls, but with wisdom. Know when to give and when to withdraw. Know when to speak and when to listen. Know when to act and when to simply be. This is the dance of permanent vibration. It's not about perfection, it's about presence without distortion. Every moment, you are either amplifying your field or leaking it. Choose wisely. So now I ask you, not as a guru, not as a performer, but as a mirror, what version of you are you finally ready to embody so fully that you never have to get back into alignment again because you never left it? That version is already within you, waiting, not for more knowledge, not for more time, but for your permission. This is the final unlock. Live it, embody it, transmit it. Now go and be the frequency.